Mr. Scott, this is everybody. We don't know each other. How about if we start asking some questions, okay? So,
Hey, hey, Scott. Hey, Scott. How can I pronounce your name, Scott?
Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, hey, Edward. It's Edward, right?
Yes, Edward.
Edward?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, Scott. Scott is a difficult one for, I think, for Spanish speakers,
Yeah.
because you want to put the E in front of it and say, Scott.
Scott.
But
yeah.
my middle name is Arthur, so often I'll go by Arturo. I
Arturo.
use Arturo quite a bit,
Ah.
but Scott is I know it's difficult to pronounce sometimes. You have to practice.
Scott, what name do you prefer? What name you do prefer? Scott?
Most of my Spanish speaking friends will call me Arturo.
Arturo.
But if you want to practice, most of my friends call me Scott.
Yeah.
Okay. In this case, I would like to talk to you, Arturo. It's okay?
Yeah.
Arturo? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Go, Miriam.
Hey,
Go, sorry, Miriam.
Thank you, Doctor. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Miriam.
How's life treating you?
Well, thank you. It's been pretty good. It's very cold. I'm in Ohio, and it's very, very cold. It's about, I think it's 7 or 8 degrees Fahrenheit right now.
Wow.
And we had plenty of snow today. But it was a good day. Yeah, life is treating me well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so
much. Where are you from,
much.
Scott? Arturo, where are you from?
I'm from Chicago. I was born in Chicago.
Wow.
And I grew up in Chicago.
But now you are in Ohio, right?
Now I live in Ohio. I lived in Texas for about 15, 16 years. I went to college at Texas Tech University in Lubbock, Texas. And I lived in San Marcos, Texas. And I also lived in Austin, Texas. But I grew up in Chicago, Illinois. And most of my family, my mother's family and my father's family are all from Chicago.
That sounds great, Scott. So what do you do for a living?
So for the last 14 years, I've been a long haul truck driver, driving all over the United States. So I've driven over 1 million miles, been to every state in the United States, and just recently have decided to change careers and start to teach, to be a teacher.
Okay.
So right now I'm studying a class to learn to teach English as a foreign language.
Okay, that's great.
Go.
Okay.
Go.
Are you acquiring some competences, Scott?
Yeah, right now I'm taking a class. It's actually from Mexico City. It's from a school, the International House in Mexico City. But I'm taking the class online.
Okay.
So I'm in Ohio, but I actually start the class this Monday. And it's a 12-week online class. So it'll be a lot of work, but I'm looking forward to getting my certification.
Is that the CELTA certification?
CELTA certification.
Yeah, it's the best. It's one of the best.
The
best.
From the, it's written and created by the University of Cambridge in England. So it's pretty intense. It's going to kick my butt, I think.
Yeah. It's only 1 month, right? Something like that? Or?
Mine's going to be 3 months.
3 months because it's only Saturdays.
Okay.
Well, this one will be once a week that we meet for 4 hours, but it'll be probably about 15 or 20 hours a week of work per week. But the normal one you're talking about, it's super intense where they go all day long for like 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah, I did not want to do that.
That's great. So how did you meet teacher Alfonso?
Say it again.
How did you meet teacher Alfonso?
How did you meet?
How did I meet the teachers?
Yeah, the teacher Alfonso.
In Mexico City?
Yeah, how did you meet? How did you meet him?
I just researched programs online, And I was looking for a program here in Ohio, but my local college, it was very, very expensive. It was like $5,000 US dollars. And I wouldn't be able to start for a couple more months. So I searched on Google. I went online and I found a program that was being offered from the school in Mexico City that was starting very quickly. So that's why I came to that school.
Okay, wow.
Okay.
Cool. Super cool.
Okay.
Are you teacher of what? Sorry, Arturo?
Yes.
Teacher of what?
So it'll be English.
English in America or
Well, I'm considering maybe moving to Guadalajara or Mexico City.
Okay.
I've traveled in Mexico before. I speak a little bit of Spanish.
Okay.
I'm not fluent,
Okay.
but I like Mexico and the culture and the people. But I think what I'm going to try to do is teach online to start
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
before I move, and maybe, get my feet wet and start teaching online
Yeah.
before I make a big move like that.
No, got
Yeah.
it, got it.
Okay.
Great.
Scott, how do you manage, or how can you manage your time in order to maybe study a little bit each day in order to reach your certification? Or do you spend some time every day or some hours or one?
Yes, that's a very good question. So for example, I've already had to do an assignment before the class even starts, and that's taken me 15 hours. That's taken me 3 days just to complete this one assignment before the class even begins. It's very intensive.
Yes.
So I'm actually not working. I'm a full-time student. I stopped my regular job
Okay.
so I could take this class to get the skills to start teaching. So I'm not even working. I'm just living off of my regular savings.
Okay.
So I'm watching every penny.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations. No,
Yeah.
no people go for it, right? For the
Yes.
goals.
Yes, my friends and family think I'm crazy.
I don't think so. I don't think
But
so.
I wanted to change. I really I've always wanted to do some type of teaching. And I like to communicate, and I've studied Spanish, and I think it's a better fit for me than driving a truck all over the country. And I made really good money, but I'm getting a little bit older. It's very physically
Yeah.
demanding
Yeah.
to drive a truck and travel that.
Yeah.
I would travel 120,000 miles a year, and I would only be home every 2 weeks. So it's a very difficult job.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was ready for a change.
Okay.
Yeah. Scott, yeah, how was the experience driving around the country on this season and this weather,
Well, that's a good question. I grew up in Chicago, so I grew up driving in snow and ice.
Yeah.
But I had really good training. I went to a school in Dallas, Texas. And so I've driven through the Rocky Mountains, through the Sierra Nevadas, all through California. I've driven through the Appalachian Mountains. So I did it for 14 years. And so I had a lot of experience. But it took a lot of training to be able to do it. You're hauling very, 40-ton vehicle up and down mountains through snow and ice. Really the best thing to do in snow and ice is to slow down. Just drive slow.
Yeah. It's necessary, right? Super necessary.
Yes, because you can't stop. If you hit the brakes, you're gonna skid and slide. So the slower you go, the less damage you're gonna do bumping into something.
Yeah,
So it's all about how fast you want to crash. So just drive slow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, actually, the last weekend I had one experience. I went to the Chicago airport. So the weather, it was so bad. So I had to drive a little bit slow, so slow because the weather.
Yeah.
the black
Yeah.
ice,
The best thing to do is, if you can, is not even drive in it. Just stay home
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
wait for
I know.
when the snowstorms come. It comes and it rains or snows really hard for a couple hours, and then the plows and all the machinery and the heavy equipment, they'll come and clean it all up. So oftentimes, if you can wait and not have to even drive in the bad weather, that's the safest thing to do, is not even drive in it. Or if you have to drive, wait until the plows and the equipment and the crews clean everything up. But sometimes you do have to drive in it. So, but just go slow,
Yeah.
if you have to drive.
Yeah, it's the best way. Yeah.